TGR News, broadcasting from the State of Israel.
Welcome back to TGR News.
Hello, hello.
Iran is getting more forward in their attacks on the State of Israel and planning much more to try and take us out.
Yeah.
This week, we have been attacked by Lebanon, Syria, and Gaza, while terrorism from Israeli Arabs has not let up. We're going to talk about all this and much more. But first, let's say thank you. It is such a blessing, like I say every week, it is such a beautiful thing to be able to give the hungry people, the Jewish people here in the State of Israel, food out from your hands, from your support. And it's just, it really is something. Like we've said before, it's amazing thing to be a part of when we let it naturally and organically happen when they ask of why, where this food is coming from. And so we let them know that it's from believers, the believer community around the world. It is such a beautiful and great way to witness. It is, which was an added surprise that we didn't think of ahead of time. It's just something that the Lord showed us as we went along with this. Today, as an example, miracles are everywhere. Everywhere. Ola and I were talking about it. It's amazing. We've had bad weather. This is our second winter going on, 2 years we've been doing this. This is our second winter. And that never fails. God, just the little things that show you're on the right path and you're doing what God told you to do. Every time it's time to take the food, whether it's storming and crazy weather, when we go, boom, it stops raining just long enough. Everything works out. We can get the food, box it up, and pass it out. It's just those little confirmations that you're doing what God told you to do. And it really is. We got to count our little blessings and see the signs that our Lord has given us on the path that we're on. And me and Ola noticed that today. It was really. I mean, we were driving through heavy rain, through the clouds because there were some clouds down low. And then as soon as we got to where we needed to go to start passing out to buy the food, and it just poof, sun came out and everything.
Actually, it was more than that.
Yeah.
We had the last cart from all our no carts, shopping carts. Then we went in, and you have this special thing that do the bling bling to count we have the special gadget. None of them was there, and people looking for them. And then the guard we always have a little guy who stand and check everything's okay. He say, "Oh, take mine." So everything was
and always
so
that
smooth.
way. Over 2 years, it's been like that.
Yeah.
And it's important to notice it and give God His glory because it's God's glory and God. Thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
And like we always say, if you haven't yet been a part of this and you feel like you want to, there's links below all of these videos to the Patreon page and to the Support Us page. Or you can just go to thegoldenreport.com and find whichever way, and go to the Support Us page there and find whichever way is most comfortable and suits you the best. So it's, I just thought it was important to, like we said, to give glory to God and notice the miracles that He gives us every day.
Yeah.
So thank you, Lord. Well, let's get started.
Yeah, let's do it.
What's
see
this?
Some different?
What's this?
I need the glasses.
Yeah, he's got the first pair of glasses.
Yeah, I'm getting older.
I don't need glasses yet, and I'm older than you.
Yeah, well,
Well, I need reading glasses up close, but that's okay. Well, let's get started. Last Friday night, the IDF carried out airstrikes in Gaza for the recent attacks from Lebanon and Gaza that we had last week. The IDF took out underground bunkers, towers they had built near the border, rocket launchers, and tunnels, as well as the usual rocket factories. Many Israelis feel like this was too little and we need to go in and wipe them out, or by ground forces. A lot of Israelis feel that way nowadays. And the people in charge, meaning Benjamin Netanyahu, Prime Minister Netanyahu, and military leaders, always have that in mind, I'm sure, but it's such a heavy price to pay because there's no way for us to do that without losing a lot of Israeli lives. But if it needs to be done, it needs to be done. That's never going to be a reason why we would not do it. Yeah. It's just something that we have to add into the calculations when we do it and when we don't.
Yeah. and do it on our terms
And not
our
theirs.
times, that we won't let them to drag us into
Their timeline.
Their timeline. Exactly.
Yeah, that's what Israel always does. If you notice, a lot of times from Gaza, or like last week and this week, rockets coming in from Gaza or other countries, we don't immediately fire back.
Yeah.
That's one of the blessings of the Iron Dome, that we can sit back and wait, and then we don't have to worry about being on their schedule. We are in charge of the schedule when we attack and when we don't.
Yeah.
Well, during the IDF's attack in Gaza Strip, the Arabs continued to carry out terrorist attacks in the state of Israel. Some of those attacks took place at the same night in the Benjamin area, which is north of Jerusalem. Terrorists opened fire on IDF soldiers, injuring one. The soldiers returned fire and resolved the situation. Then the next morning, in the Jordanian Valley, terrorists opened fire on a car with 3 Jewish women, a mother with her 2 daughters. The terrorist was able to kill both the daughters immediately, and injure the mother, putting her in the hospital, and eventually she would die from her wounds and from the attack 2 days later. It was a sad day, and it just, sometimes we know the world's not fair. So we're not sitting here think childishly, oh, it's not fair.
Yeah.
But it just sometimes gets you so upset. They attack, so we obviously have to retaliate, and then they retaliate or retaliate, right?
Yeah.
It's just the evil and the mindset, and they just want to kill us. That's all they want. They just want to kill us, right?
Yeah. Well, I see online many people talking about supporting those terror attacks, which is I can't. It's amazing how people can be so blindly support terror. They just executed those 3 women.
Yeah.
They executed. This is what you're fighting for. They're fighting for free Palestine, as they say. This is your fight for executing women and children, innocent people.
Well, I believe some of those people were supported online. Some of them, they go into different groups, I believe. Some of them are just ignorant and have no knowledge of what they're talking about. Some of them, it's a spiritual thing, and where they're led by evil spirits, and sort of, you could almost say they're not even in control of what they're saying because of being led by evil spirits. And some of them, it's just they just hate Israel, and they hate you, they hate me, only because we exist as Jews, and especially as Jews in the state of Israel. Well.
On Friday night, a terrorist used his car to run down 8 people on the sidewalk of a beach in Tel Aviv. 1 was killed and 7 were injured. The group of people that he ran over were tourists here on holiday from Italy and England. Police near the scene were able to shoot and stop the terrorist from killing more innocent people.
Yeah.
Again, if we talk about fake news and people support terrorism, just today I saw somebody that said that Israel investigating that Israel police investigating that we actually killed this tourist. Can you believe that? It's crazy. And I know for sure because I checked, I researched it. I researched everything.
Oh, yes.
And I checked, and there's an autopsy they did on this poor person.
Yeah, they did. It was on the
showed
news.
Fact that he wasn't shot by our police. He been run over by car.
Yeah.
Terrorist attack.
The tourist who was killed, not the...
Please share the truth. Don't let them do this fake news and yeah.
That's why it's really important to share these videos, because I think everyone watching this right now is on the side of God and believes the truth and sees how the situation here in the Middle East and Israel. But if you share it and get these videos out, maybe we could get to the ears of people who don't know the truth so much.
Yeah.
Well, Iran is getting stronger and bolder as time goes on. Last week, they sent a drone to Israel, which they never tried before, and Iran is attacking American bases in Syria more and more. Israel has been trying to tell the U.S. to show more strength and to deter Iran. Now the U.S. is finally starting to make stronger moves. U.S. submarine Florida is now parked in the Persian Gulf near Iran with 154 Tomahawks ready to go. The U.S. also stated that they have intelligence that Iran is planning an attack in the near future. You know, having this submarine, this U.S. submarine, is a great show of strength, and it's a great statement from the United States. The question here is, does anyone, especially Iran, but does anyone believe that the Biden administration would pull the trigger when the time comes to fire those Tomahawks, those 154 Tomahawks that are on that submarine? You know, well, that's, I don't know if Iran or many other people believe, other than just park the submarine there. I don't know how many people would actually believe that right now, under the leadership America has now, how quick they'd be to fire.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so it's a good move in the right direction. It's what Israel's been calling on from the U.S. for years, but
Will it be effective, and
but
will it?
is it enough? And is it not too late?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On Saturday night, this situation got even more complicated when Syria joined in and fired rockets at Israel for the first time. They fired 3 rockets, one fell in open field in Israel, and one never made it out of Syria, while the third one fell in Jordan. We always need to remember that Lebanon and Syria are armed by Iran, and Iran uses proxies on our borders in Syria and Lebanon. These proxies are usually farmers and shepherds living close to our borders and paid to spy on us, as well as challenge our soldiers on the borders. So most likely these are the farmers and shepherds that fire so poorly these rockets.
Yeah, missed so greatly. One never made it out of Syria. One hit Jordan, and only one made it in an open field. Well, it is the first time in this and recently that Syria fired rockets at Israel, and just like you said, it's proxies. Proxies are people that Iranian agents, Iran pays, that live on the Israeli border, both in Lebanon and in Syria. These people have nothing, and most of them, like you said, are farmers and shepherds, and you know, land, people work off the land, live off the land, and so a little bit of money and equipment to go is a big thing for them, and
Yeah.
and they're always using proxies on our borders. It's definitely it's a known thing they've been doing for many years. Well, the IDF answered back by taking out the command center of the brother of the president of Syria, al-Assad. The IDF carried out this airstrike at 4 a.m. to make sure that it was empty and that the president's brother was not there. This was a clear message from Israel to show that we are willing to hit you very close to home.
I think he got the message.
Yeah, I think he got the message. Assad got the message, and I'm sure they're all very thankful that Israel is so humane about the way they retaliate, and waited till 4 a.m. when they knew with intelligence and spy satellites that everyone was gone out of the command center, and it was, you know, so it's it was I think it was the right move. I think Israel got the message across. On Sunday, 3 brigades of IDF reservists were called in to strengthen the number of soldiers on our northern border and in the Judea and Samaria territories. Israel is getting ready for the possibility of a war breaking out on multiple fronts at the same time. Makes you remember the 6-day war when all the Arab countries attacked at the same time in 1967. I see a lot of information being put out on the internet lately about Iran's plans and everything, and I'm pretty sure most of those plans that we see, like the newsletter my father put up on the website. If you haven't seen it, go and read it. It's a great newsletter. It talks about the plans that Iran has to attack, and it's true. It's all true. That's their plans. They just don't take into consideration a whole lot of things on our side, right?
Yeah.
So Israel's ready, always been ready, and we always continue to get stronger and make better equipment. And one of the main things Israel does is always work so hard to stay not one or two, but 50 or 60 steps ahead in technology when it comes to warfare, to weapons and missiles and everything else, to be able to protect this little bitty strip of land in the middle of this big bad neighborhood.
Yeah.
On Monday, Prime Minister Netanyahu addressed the nation to say that a large part of the reason why our enemies are raising their heads and attacking us recently is because of the weakness the previous coalition showed and the left-wing protesters that refused to report for duty on an IDF publicly. He went on to tell part of what Israel is doing to regain peace, at least what he can say, and that we have faced worse situations that we came out of than this. So we will make it through this one as well. That was Netanyahu's speech. It was a good speech, and I liked how he blamed a lot of what's going on to the on the left wing parties.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Do you remember the last thing we made, contract we made on the last government they made with the Lebanon about
The gas.
the gas?
Yeah, it
was
promised it would be
supposed
give us peace.
Yeah,
And
right.
then just months later, we get attacked by Lebanon. So obviously that was a lie. Yeah.
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 This week, the decision was made not to allow Jews to even go to the Temple Mount. This is a change in the status quo, but in the wrong direction. Jews are not allowed to pray on the Temple Mount, and we are not even allowed free access at all times. We are allowed only in certain short windows of time that are scheduled ahead of time. Passover is one of the times we are usually allowed, but this Passover has changed.
Yeah.
So this is, I don't know, this is the most holiest side for Jews there.
Yes. Number one.
And on Pesach, the first Pesach and the seventh Pesach, we usually go and pray there, and now we can't. Just because we want peace.
Just because we don't want the Arabs to attack us anymore and have problems with the rest of the world telling us we're doing something wrong.
I think it's wrong decision again.
Yeah, of course it is the wrong decision. And just like you said, we always talk about the status quo on the Temple Mount. We always tell you, we keep you update. This channel will always keep you up to date on any happenings on the Temple Mount and any changes of the status quo. And what we want is a change of status quo the other direction. But
the other way.
This week's status quo changed the wrong direction, just like you said. It's we're not even allowed when we usually were allowed to go up and during Passover, but now we're not.
Yeah, and it's not like they think, oh, they did so much sacrificing for us. Now let's make peace with them. It's not like that. They see it as a weakness. We won, and next time we're gonna be more rebel and more violent to win other things. So
I'll tell you what. Next time, you guys know we have prayer requests that we take to the wall and put in the Western Wall for you guys. It's one of the things my father started decades ago, and it's such a wonderful thing to be able to do for you guys. And but this next time we go and we put the prayer requests in the wall, we ought to see when the schedules are that Jews are allowed on the Temple Mount, and we ought to see if we can go up and make a little video. I don't even know if they let you up there with cameras and everything.
You have to have special permission, but we can try.
We can try. We can be Israeli. We can act like we didn't know. Well, yeah, just do it. We'll try. We'll see if we get something up there.
Yeah.
To make a whole fancy video maybe would be problematic, but go up there and at least show it off a little bit, see what it looks like.
Yeah.
See if there's been any changes since the last time I've been up there. Well, on Tuesday, the IDF was able to stop a terrorist cell from taking out its plans to attack Jews on the same day. The terror cell was caught with M16s and suicide notes hours before they were planning to head out and kill innocent Jews. Now, this is, we don't tell all of them, but this is just one of those incidents where the IDF this week and every week and all the time are stopping terrorists from acting out on their plans to attack and kill Jews. And we usually put in one or two just to tell you about it.
Yeah.
And but it's daily occurrence, and it's almost an hourly occurrence.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, well, today is gonna happen this how it's called, Jerusalem Day of Iran.
Well, yesterday.
Today's Friday.
Oh, it was today. It was Friday.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
Friday. It's so Iran really pushing a terrorist organization, and Iran really pushing the Arabs and the Palestinian Arabs here in Israel, in the state of Israel, to make more terror attacks. Go
absolutely.
and attack them everywhere.
Well, that's the whole reason they have Jerusalem Day. Iran has a Jerusalem Day, of celebration of Jerusalem. This is something new since what we just looked it up. 1989. It's not tradition. It's not religious tradition for them or anything. It's since 1989.
Yeah.
And the whole reason they did it is to put their flag and put their stake in Jerusalem and claim part of Jerusalem as theirs. Or it's just the same old rhetoric, the same old stuff, where they're looking for every excuse to attack us, to take our land, to kick us out of here. Yeah. Well, you got anything you want to add?
It's been a rough week.
Yes, it
again.
has.
People here in Israel, Jews here in Israel, they feel stressed. They feel like the war is coming, and we're trying to spread positivity. Like we're gonna stand. Israel gonna stand like we stand before.
Exactly.
But it's hard. People feel depressed and sad, and you know what good about it? I didn't see too much talking about the reform, the judgment.
Well, they're still protesting in the streets.
Yeah, but it looks like many people.
Yeah, it's not 400,000 now. It's 120,000.
And it's not the issue of the day. Like you open the news and it's the only one thing that they're talking about, and it makes us a little bit more united. And in the hour of truth, if we need it, I'm sure all Jews together will fight against terrorism, against Iran, against any threat.
I believe that too. Absolutely, I believe that too. And it's great. You touched on something about trying to have something positive out of all of this negative that's going around in the world, and here specifically in the state of Israel, around the state of Israel, and around the Temple Mount. And some part of positivity there is what we're doing with your help, feeding the people here and doing such great work in the midst of all of this evilness and ugliness and hate and violence and exactly. So it's just a beautiful beacon of truth and love and witness to the world who is our Lord. And it's just a beautiful thing we're doing here, and it's just so wonderful to be a part of. That's why every week I take the time to say thank you so much, because it really is. Well,
that's all.
Don't want to go back into the beginning of the thank you like we do every week. So don't forget to join us on thegoldenreport.com. And until next week.
Shabbat Shalom.
God bless.